Welcome back to the channel, my friends. Warhammer Man Studios. I'm Warhammer Man, and today we're taking a look at this week's official prices. This video is sponsored by CMO Games. More on that later. Alright, so we got the official prices for this week's pre-order straight from Games Workshop. A massive week for the Stormcast Eternals, and also a pleasant surprise on the pricing that I was definitely wrong about. So without any further ado, let's jump right in. So first we have the Stormcast Eternals regular Battletome, and then also the Stormcast Eternals Players Edition. So we had the regular Battletome coming in at $60, and then we had the Stormcast Eternals Players Edition coming in at $80. And the main differentiation here is the Players Edition is going to be a softcover book, and then also include the Warscroll Cards as well. And the main difference, if you were to purchase these two items separately and then purchase the Warscroll Cards to go along with the Stormcast Eternals regular codex, is the actual inclusion of a couple of extra Warscroll Cards, specifically with like the various abilities, spells, stuff like that with the Players Edition. So it's a little bit more of a complete set, which is strange because it should be included in both sets. But realistically, you're going to get everything you need to not actually use the codex with the Players Edition card set, as were with the actual Stormcast Eternals Battletome, and then the addition of the Warscroll cards. You would still have to use a couple of pages out of the Battletome to have your full rules for the Stormcast Eternals. So there would be a $15 total difference in price purchasing the Battletome and Warscroll cards, and then you would also be missing a couple of the key cards that you would need to play the game, and you would be paying $15 more. You're going to get the digital code for the app with both of the Battletomes as well. But essentially, Games Workshop guaranteeing that you buy the Battletome if you buy the Players Edition. Therefore, they don't need to force you to buy the Battletome and the Warscroll cards to get all the pages you need. So a little bit of tricky marketing by Games Workshop, making sure that if you buy just the Warscroll cards, that you still have to buy the Battletome either way. So basically packaging up the Players Edition with the Warscroll cards and the Battletome, they're able to include those extra cards that you need, and there's no way to skirt buying the Battletome itself. And then we have the Stormcast Eternals Iridan the Witness, which is a dual-purpose kit with the Lord Vigilant on Morgriff as well. And this is going to come in at $118 USD for this big old monster. And then next we have Tornus the Redeemed. And again, this is going to build the Knight Azeros with just a little bit of a head and potentially weapon swap. And this is going to be coming in at $52 USD. And next we have the Stormcast Eternals Lord-Celestant with a couple of build options here. Another plastic kit for $45. We have the brand new Lord-Relictor, very cool model here, $42 for the Lord-Relictor. And then we have our Lord-Terminos and his companion, $42 for this model. And definitely seeing a little bit of a price increase on some of the Age of Sigmar stuff. Typically the characters from Age of Sigmar would be priced a little bit lower than like your typical 40k prices, as there's not quite as much demand and they don't have quite as much pricing power. But we're now seeing with the individual characters, even the hero-sized ones, Games Workshop has pushed them up much closer or like right in line with the 40k prices. So unfortunate, but I wish I could say that it was unexpected, but definitely not. And next we have for the Stormcast Eternals, the Stormstrike Palladors. So 3 of these bad boys in a box set, $65 for this kit. And then we have quite a few of these sets. Basically everything that came in the Dominion box is direct only. So even if you do order from your local game store with the discount, it's probably not going to be as good because it is technically direct only. So while they can get a hold of those models for you, Games Workshop doesn't give them as good of a discount. So you're not going to be able to get as good of a discount either. But for the majority of the stuff that came in the big boxes, you can often find them online for a much better discount. So you're going to get 10 of the Liberators in the box set for $60. And next we have the Prosecutors, again from the Skaventide box set and a lot of the other ones, direct only, $60 for 3 of these. And again, very evident that Games Workshop is passing over these price increases to the Sigmar range as they release these new models and then also the individual kits from the box sets. And next we have from the regular range, not direct only, we have the Reclusians, $60 for those. But again, you can definitely get these at a better price because they are in the box set. Or if you're after quite a few of these kits that were in the Skaventide box, highly recommend that you grab one of those up as they are definitely being offered for a nice discount. And then we have the individual releases of the Lord-Imperatant and Knight-Arcanum. Again, you can grab these up for a much better deal because they were in the previous edition box sets. But these are direct only once again. $38 for the Knight-Arcanum and $42 for the Lord-Imperatant, which is definitely crazy because again, these are basically just 40k prices for Sigmar models that were included in box sets that were very cheap. Like you could get the entry level box set from the previous edition of Age of Sigmar for something like $50 or $60, and that included the Lord-Imperatant, a bunch of other models, not only for the Stormcast Eternals, but also for the Cruel Boys as well. So the idea that the single character now is $42 is just absolutely insane. Now a quick message from today's sponsor. CMO Games has been selling Games Workshop products online for over 20 years. They carry the full line of Games Workshop products, including Warhammer 40,000, Age of Sigmar, Necromunda, Blood Bowl, paint tools, and more. Almost all Games Workshop products are priced at 15% off MSRP. CMO Games takes pre-orders for most Games Workshop products released at their earliest date possible. 12:01 a.m. on Saturday, they go live. Most of these pre-order products are also priced at 15% off MSRP. CMO Games offer free shipping in the US 48 with an order of $50 or more. Their customer service is top-notch and they ship most orders within 24 hours. Visit CMOGames.com using the affiliate link in the description and let them know that you heard about CMO Games from Warhammer Man. Now, back to the video. And then again, direct only, we have the Stormcoven, 3 unique character models. Very cool, $42 for them. And again, just demonstrates just how ridiculous the prices are for a single character to be $42, or for these 3 like super cool unique sculpts to be $42 total. Just shows that the realistically no rhyme or reason to Games Workshop prices. It has nothing to do with like the size of the kit or anything like that. Only them pricing stuff as to what they can get away with. And then we have the unique piece of Stormcast Eternal faction terrain, the Stormreach Portal. And this is going to be priced at $80. And then we have the Stormcast Eternals dice set, 16 dice in this set for $33.50. And then also the Warscroll Cards for $35. And then we have the Ratling Blaster for the Skaven. Again, this is one of the items that was in the Skaven Tide box set, so highly recommend that you consider that box set, as there's still plenty of them collecting dust on store shelves worldwide. $58 for the Warpling Blaster. And then we have the Ravening Gnarloak, $60 for this bad boy. And next we have the Servo Skull Palette. So I've got to say on this one, this is actually a much better price than I was expecting. So on the actual price list, it is $90 for the Servo Skull Palette, but it does come in a 6-pack. So basically that means that if your local store is going to be picking any of these up, they do have to buy 6 of them for $90, but that means that they're going to be sold individually for around $15 a piece. Which realistically, for like the cool factor of this, I could totally see people picking up at $15. I fully expected Games Workshop to price this somewhere around like $30. So at $15, I could totally see people picking this up. Now for me, it's still a pass just because it's awkwardly shaped. The actual wells themselves are like all different sizes and just spaced out crazily. But for $15, I think this thing is pretty cool. And realistically, the premium on like the novelty of a Servo Skull palette versus paying like $3 to $10 for just like a regular silicone palette makes this actually a viable choice, I think, for people to pick up. Cool little gift, or definitely something out there that you could pick up for your kids as they get started painting. So I got to give it to Games Workshop on the Servo Skull palette. Definitely much more reasonably priced than I was expecting from them. So touche, Games Workshop. An excellent addition to the range as a silicone palette is absolutely awesome. They're super easy to clean. And overall, I think everybody out there should be rocking some form of silicone palette. And next we have the Stormvolt Combat Case. So while I'm not sure about these, it does have like the little silicone fingers in it to hold your miniatures. Not necessarily a big fan of this style of case, but I've also never used one before. So maybe they are actually much better than like the previous editions Games Workshop has released with like the foam and various stuff. But $112 for this bad boy. And then we got a couple of novels from Black Library. So first we have Anvil's Heldenhammer the Ancients. So this is a hardback novel for $35. And then we also have On the Shoulders of Giants plus Stories in a hardback novel, $35 for this bad boy. And then we also have a little bit of a surprise here. So this is a late edition. Games Workshop definitely went back through and edited the article and added this in. And while it's not on the price list because it is going to be sold direct only, we have the edition of the First Founding Deluxe Edition. So anybody that's out there who likes the collector's edition novels, we have the First Founding Deluxe Edition, basically a Space Marine novel with some art prints, some little tokens going along with it. Limited edition deluxe release of this novel. And again, we won't know the prices until Saturday, but definitely worth note for anybody that took a look at the article yesterday when it first came out. This was not part of it. They just went back through and did a little bit of a stealth edit without letting anybody know and added in the First Founding Deluxe Edition. So definitely an exciting week for the Stormcast Eternals players out there, as there's a bunch of new models. And I guess I knew it was just a matter of time, but we're definitely seeing the Age of Sigmar prices come back in line with the 40k stuff. For a while, the 40k stuff was starting to creep up in prices, and the Sigmar stuff was staying a little bit on the lower side, especially things like the individual characters. But now we're seeing the price creep hit Sigmar 100%, bringing them much more back in line with the 40k stuff. So definitely an unfortunate change, but not surprising. So let me know what you think of the new price changes, what you think of the actually reasonably priced silicone palette. What are you excited about this week? What are you going to be picking up? Always like to hear back from you guys in the comments. And as always, special thanks to CMO Games for sponsoring the channel. Check out the link in the description to save 15% on most Games Workshop products. Make sure to tell them that Warhammer Man sent you. And keep in mind, the pre-orders from CMO Games will go live at midnight on Friday. So if you are looking to pick up any of these models, get yourself a nice discount with free shipping in the continental United States. So that's it for today. Warhammer Man Studios, I'm Warhammer Man, and I'm out of here.